Hi, my friends. Today I want to present you a new story. Enjoy watching it.
The rain turning into sleet had been falling for hours, heavy, relentless, like the sky itself was grieving. I'd just drifted into sleep when at 2:57 a.m. the pounding began. Not a polite knock, but frantic, desperate, like someone begging the world not to forget them. At first, I thought I was dreaming, but then I heard it again, sharper this time. A small voice followed, trembling through the storm. "Aunt Sophie, please open, please." My heart stopped. I stumbled from bed, wrapping my robe around me as thunder rattled the windows. When I opened the door, the wind slapped me hard, but not as hard as what I saw next. 3 children stood on the porch. My sister Martha's kids, soaked to the bone. Christopher, only 12, clutched his sisters, Emma and Grace, who were barefoot and shivering. Their hair was plastered to their faces, their eyes wide with fear. "Good Lord," I gasped, pulling them inside. "What happened? Where's your mother?" Christopher's lips quivered. They kicked us out of the house again." His voice cracked on the last word. I felt something inside me break. The heat from the fireplace barely reached them, so I stripped off their drenched clothes, wrapped them in blankets, and hurried to warm milk on the stove. The smell of hot chocolate filled the kitchen, but it couldn't mask the faint scent of rain and misery clinging to them. When I touched Christopher's arm, he flinched. My sleeve rolled up his, revealing deep bruises blooming like dark violets. "Who did this?" I whispered. He shook his head. "Please, don't tell Mom. She gets mad when we talk." A lump formed in my throat. Mad didn't cover it. Martha wasn't the sister I'd grown up with. Not since she met Raphael, a man whose smile never reached his eyes, whose temper snapped like glass under pressure. As the children drank their hot chocolate, I sat across from them, my mind spinning. Why tonight? Why now? Then little Emma spoke, her voice soft but haunting. "He said we had to leave before his friends came. He said kids shouldn't hear grown-up things." My blood ran cold. Lightning flashed through the windows, casting their shadows across the room, and I knew this wasn't just neglect. Something far darker was festering behind Martha's walls. I pulled the kids close and whispered, "You're safe now, I promise." That night, when I locked the door behind us, I thought I was protecting them. I didn't know I just declared war on my own sister. Morning came gray and silent, like the world itself was holding its breath. The children were still sleeping on the couch, bundled in my old blankets, their faces pale and tear-streaked. I brewed coffee just to have something to hold, something that might stop my hands from shaking. When Christopher finally stirred, I smiled softly. "You hungry, sweetheart?" He nodded, though his eyes darted to the window as if expecting someone to burst in. As I slid a plate of pancakes before him, he whispered, "We can't stay long. Mom said, bad things happen when we talk too much." The fork slipped from my fingers. I turned on the voice recorder on my phone. "Christopher, what do you mean?" He hesitated, his lip trembling. Then, like a dam breaking, the words came rushing out. He told me about the parties, the loud music, the smell of smoke that burned their throats, and strangers coming to the house with bags of white powder and bottles of liquor. He told me how Raphael would laugh with them, how Martha would send the children to their room and lock the door, and how sometimes the shouting lasted until dawn. Emma began to cry, burying her face in my arm. "He said we'd go to jail if we told," she sobbed. My heart shattered right there. These weren't just scared kids, they were prisoners of fear. I wiped her tears and looked at Christopher. "You did the right thing by telling me. You hear me? You did nothing wrong." He nodded faintly. When they went back to rest, I slipped into the kitchen, grabbed my phone, and pressed play. My voice shook as I whispered, "Christopher, can you tell me again what Raphael and your mom did?" As I replayed his trembling voice on my phone, I realized something terrifying. What they told me wasn't just a family secret. It was a crime waiting to explode. It happened faster than I could breathe. The children were watching cartoons in the living room when the front door slammed open so hard it shook the walls. I dropped the mug I was holding, hot coffee splashed across the floor, and there she was, Martha. Her hair was wild, mascara streaked down her cheeks, and her eyes, those same eyes I trusted my whole life, were burning with fury. "Where are my kids, Sophie?" she spat. "Where are they?" I stepped forward, my voice trembling but firm. "They're safe. That's all you need to know. Safe? She screamed, her voice cracking. You think you can just steal them from me? You've always wanted to ruin me. Behind her, Raphael appeared in the doorway. Arms folded, face calm in that chilling way that made my stomach twist. Put the act away, sweetheart, he said slowly. You don't know what you're getting yourself into. Don't call me sweetheart, I snapped. I know exactly what you're doing, and I have proof. Raphael's smirk faltered for a split second. What proof? Martha demanded, panic flickering in her tone. The kind that talks, I said, glancing toward my phone on the counter. And believe me, the police will listen. For a heartbeat, no one moved. Then Martha lunged toward the hallway, shouting her children's names. Christopher, Emma, Grace. The kids froze in terror, clinging to each other. I stepped between them, shaking but unyielding. You're not taking them, Martha. Not tonight. Her eyes filled with tears, real ones this time, and for a moment I saw my sister again, the girl who used to braid my hair before school. Then she turned, cold and sharp. You'll regret this, Sophie, Raphael hissed, grabbing her arm. We don't lose. When they stormed out, silence filled the house like smoke after fire. I locked the door, pressed my back against it, and slid to the floor, shaking. Upstairs, the children cried softly. As I wiped my tears, one thought echoed in my head. I hadn't just crossed a line. I'd set the entire bridge ablaze. The next morning, I sat across from the CPS investigator, my nerves coiled tight. Her name was Ms. Daniels, calm eyes, notebook in hand, her pen moving faster than her words. She listened carefully as I replayed the recording of Christopher's trembling confession. For the first time in days, I thought maybe, just maybe, we were safe. But evil rarely surrenders quietly. By the second day, rumors began spreading through town. Mrs. Beckman, my neighbor, wouldn't even meet my eyes at the mailbox. I heard you've been unwell, Sophie, she muttered. Martha said you've been having episodes again. I froze. Episodes? That was Raphael's language. Their poison was spreading faster than truth could breathe. When Ms. Daniels returned for a follow-up, her questions were different. Miss Roberts, have you ever been treated for anxiety? Any prescription medications in your home? My heart sank. You talked to them, didn't you? She hesitated. We have to consider every perspective. Every perspective, even the liars. That night, while the children slept, I sat in the dark and prayed for strength. But the silence was broken by a single sound, the creak of the back door. I ran downstairs, barefoot, to find it open, rain dripping off the frame. My chest tightened. Christopher, I shouted, racing upstairs. Emma, Grace. Empty beds, empty house. My scream ripped through the night. I called the police, choking on my words. They took them. They took the children. Within minutes, sirens filled the air. A highway alert went out. An officer turned to me, voice grim. We've got eyes on a van matching the description. I grabbed my keys. Then I'm going too. He tried to stop me, but I was already running toward car, heart pounding, tears blurring my vision. And that night, I was ready to lose my mind to bring them home. The van had been cornered on the rain-slicked highway, lights flashing, sirens wailing. I stayed close in the police car, heart hammering, watching Raphael's desperate maneuvers. Christopher clutched Emma's hand, Grace pressed herself against them, their wide eyes reflecting the red and blue strobe lights. Raphael swore, trying to shake the patrol car, but the officers were relentless. Finally, he pulled over and I rushed forward, gathering the children into my arms. Christopher buried his face in my shoulder. I thought we'd never get out, he sobbed. You're safe now, I whispered. Back at the station, CPS took statements, and the children clung to me as if letting go meant disappearing. When I finally walked into the courthouse weeks later, holding Christopher's hand, the tension in my chest cracked open. Emma curled against my side, Grace clutching her favorite stuffed rabbit. The judge's voice cut through the tension. Based on the evidence and reports, full custody of the children is awarded to Sophie Roberts. The parents will have supervised visitation, contingent on completing parenting classes and therapy. A shiver ran through me, not from relief alone, but from the weight of what had been endured. Christopher's eyes brimmed with tears. We get to stay together, he whispered. Yes, I said, voice breaking. You're safe. You're all safe. Outside the courthouse, the world seemed brighter. the air lighter. Raphael and Martha were there, silent and furious, but powerless. That evening, I tucked them into their new rooms, the walls finally echoing with comfort instead of dread. I kissed each forehead and whispered, "I will always be there for you, always." They had survived the storm, but the echoes of betrayal would never be forgotten.
Friends, what do you think of this story? Write your opinion in the comments. Would you like more stories? Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell button so you don't miss any videos. See you tomorrow.